15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome everyone to another video from American Stock FPL. This week we'll have our Game Week 15 preview of the Premier League. Jason, you had a nice solid green arrow Game Week 14, right?
Yeah, got over 100K green arrow, back in the top 250K for me now, so pretty happy with that. Glad to be back in your elite company that you've been in all season.
Yeah. I kind of fell a little bit because of no Bruno Fernandes. Currently, I believe I'm in the top 41K or so, and kind of dropped in my mini leagues as well. But hopefully, we can get green arrows Game Week 15 and keep climbing.
Yep, a lot of green arrows to be had over these next few weeks.
On this video, we'll be kind of talking about our Game Week 14 recap. Who some players we're looking at for our watch list, and then obviously the big thing is going to be the double game weeks, 18 and then 19's double game week, and then 18's the blank game weeks.
Yep.
So we'll definitely be giving our recommendations for that.
Yeah, that's all I'm looking forward to right now.
Right, it's pretty much. If you are a FPL player and you are like watching this video, you should have some sort of plan going into this big game weeks that can change your rank significantly. All right, before we go forward, I just want to shout out FPL Talking Points and Fantasy Football Scout Academy. We're proud to be part of their team. If you guys like the video, likes, comments, subs are definitely appreciated, right, Jason?
Absolutely, yeah. Keeps the show going on.
All right. So, in terms of Game Week 14, some things that I noted were Brighton, Sheffield. Not too much to talk about in this match. Welbeck definitely had a nice chance, and he finished it well. And one player for Brighton to look out for is going to be Johan Baksh. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but if he actually gets some starts, he looks promising in terms of the attack. Nice midfielder. Callum Wilson did well against Fulham, even though it was a draw. Wilson had that nice 3 fixtures in a row, and he's producing results. Fulham, Lookman looked pretty promising. One big chance for him. Everton, they defeated Arsenal. Kind of a minimal chance game, kind of like a lot of Arsenal games have been. Not too much to talk about here. Just one stat I want to bring up is Arsenal over the last 4 game weeks. 6 goals conceded, 2 goals scored. Man City, again, they seem to, for me, they have the best defense in the league right now. A nice clean sheet from them over Southampton, and then we saw Danny Ings get injured. Liverpool really did well with Salah on the bench. Mane really determined. Huge win for them. And then obviously when Salah came on, he showed what he can do as well. Jason, any comments about these matches?
Yeah, I think fantasy Twitter was all abuzz before the Liverpool match. Everyone, the lineup kind of got leaked that Salah was going to get a rest. A lot of casuals left the captain's armband on him because they didn't know that news. Obviously, it paid off big for them because he came off the bench with a huge display and punished all the people who were in the know and decided not to captain him. So pretty funny
much.
there.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, tell me what happened in the first half of Game Week 14.
All right, so Leicester beat Spurs 2-0. Jamie Vardy goal and an assist from an own goal. So pretty big result there for Leicester. They've looked a little bit better recently. And, Spurs, they just never really, I don't know, they didn't threaten nearly enough offensively that I was kind of hoping they would. But they do have some nice fixtures coming up, so I'm not too down on Spurs right now. Man United versus Leeds, the game of the week, in my opinion. United just absolutely ran rampant. Like, we knew there was going to be goals in this match, but 6-2 was pretty crazy. Bruno Fernandes, 2 goals and 1 assist, I believe. Yeah, Martial had a hat trick of assists. Like we recommended last week on the show, we said start and captain Scott McTominay. So hopefully you guys all did that. Not just kidding there. No, but
he was actually one of the most overperformed players if you looked at the members website of Fantasy Football Scout. But great goals for that guy.
Yeah, big long range shot for the first ones. I know it carries a pretty low XG, so yeah, it's not too shocking that he outperformed it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Leeds, they're going to bounce back at least offensively, but defensively they're going to remain a little leaky. Aston Villa, a little disappointing overall, but they did kind of put on the late show versus a 10-man West Bromwich Albion. Jack Grealish got 2 late assists to kind of salvage his week. Ollie Watkins still just cannot get it going. Had a goal ruled out for offside, probably by a few millimeters. So just luck is against that guy over this little run here where I've unfortunately had him in my team. But, he's got decent underlying stats. The ball is just not going in the net for him right now. So a little unlucky there. Burnley took down Wolves 2-1. A little surprised by that. Chris Wood was on the score sheet, as well as Ashley Barnes. Wood's been pretty decent lately. He's a decent shout for a differential striker at 6.2. On the Wolves side, they didn't look fantastic. I think they need to start Fabio Silva from now on to get a real striker in there. They looked a little better when he came on. Obviously, he won the penalty and then took it. But, they definitely need to change something at Wolves. They're not quite looking as great as they were last year. Lastly, Chelsea, pretty comfortable win. Unfortunately, their fullbacks, Reece James, was out before the match started. Ben Chilwell hurt his ankle early on. Now he's going to be sidelined for a few weeks. Offensively, I don't think Chelsea really created a ton of great chances. A lot of them, they kind of relied on set pieces for their goals, which really favors their defenders like Thiago Silva, who scored a goal, and also Kurt Zouma, who's performed a lot this year in the air. So overall, good win for Chelsea, but from a fantasy perspective, I'm still a little unsure about a lot of their assets.
Yeah, it's always difficult in terms of Chelsea's attack. I'm still not 100% sure who to take. I'll say Timo, he had 2 big chances and he had 4 shots in the box, but I still wouldn't take him. He doesn't seem, even with those chances, he just didn't create.
Now his confidence is clearly off right now. He's missing chances he should be hitting. Even his assist was a completely scuffed shot.
All right, Woodbrack, sorry about that. Technical difficulties. My headphones powers went out. Anyways, let's move on to our teams. Here you see I had 68 points, which is pretty solid, above average, but once you get up those upper ranks, you're going to get red arrows if someone like Bruno Fernandes performs or Salah does that well and you're not captaining them. Overall, I like my team. I still am going to go. I still am backing KDB. I like his schedule. I just cannot fit Bruno Fernandes in my team. So I think what I'm going to likely do, I have 2 free transfers. I definitely like Liverpool's defense right now. So I'll probably, in particular, Andrew Robertson, he's the one that's creating a ton of chances for Liverpool when you compare TAA versus him. And he's been more consistent this season. So I'm going to probably go Andrew Robertson back in my defense for Reece James because of that injury. And then I'm going to strengthen my midfield, just kind of looking ahead. I'm not 100% on it, but Spurs' fixtures do get better. I might go back to that Kane and Son double up. Jason, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like the Kane Sun double up starting in game week 16 versus Fulham. That seems nice. Yeah, that Reece James injury is unfortunate because he has the double in 19, obviously. So I think we're all looking forward to having him in our squads. But yeah, it's kind of unclear with his injury how long he'll be out or which games he's going to miss. But for me, there's enough uncertainty right now that I'm probably going to have to move him out as well.
Yeah. So let's go to your team then. So you're going to take Reece James off. What are your plans?
Yeah, so my first thing I'm going to say is that for this game week, I only have 2 defenders who are going to play most likely, in Sufal and Cancelo. And we know Cancelo is always a huge rotation risk. So my first order of business is I need to get a playing defender in. Mm-hmm. So for me, that means I'm going to sacrifice Reece James. As Lamptey, I know Potter said he should be back sooner rather than later. It's not serious. So I think I'll have Lamptey in for my game week 18 blank squad because he has a game. Instead, I'll take out Reece James. And I'm thinking I'm going to go to Charlie Taylor, who has double game week in 19 and 2 really nice fixtures in the build-up to that against, I think, Sheffield and Fulham. So I'm pretty happy with that. He'll give me a little more budget room as well when I downgrade to him.
So you have 1 free transfer right now or 2?
I have 2. I'm only going to use 1.
Oh, okay.
And then in game week 16, I have the funds. My plan is there. I'm going to do KDB and Calvert-Lewin out to bring in Son and Kane.
Okay, game week 16.
Yep.
Overall, excellent job here. 88 points, though. Nice captaincy of Bruno.
Yeah, he definitely came through for me. I had a feeling, that Leeds game had a lot of goals in it and that he would be involved in some way. And, obviously he was.
Yeah, you seem to have I really like your midfield.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think about me taking out Bruno and Calvert-Lewin for Kane and Son?
Oh, you're taking Bruno out too.
Or no, it's not Bruno, De Bruyne, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I saw the B and got confused.
You're kind of going with the... KDB's form's been off. He has good fixtures coming his way too. The problem is just how much he caught, his price point when you compare him, I know you have Bruno for cheap, 10.5 or something.
Yeah, I think that's what I originally got him at, was 10.5.
So yeah, for you, I mean, if you want to strengthen the Son and Kane, upgrades to Son and Kane, he seems like the only one. Salah's going to be immovable.
Yep.
Grealish is going to be your upgrade to Son. Correct? Or no?
No, KDB's the downgrade to Son.
The downgrade.
Yeah.
And so you're going to keep Grealish. All right. Because that's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, what I could do is I could upgrade Grealish to Son, but then I wouldn't be able to afford Kane at all.
I don't think it's a horizontal move, but I think that you're pretty much banking on Spurs to do well.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah. And I don't think that's a bad bet. That's not a bad bet.
Yeah, for me, they're just providing way more value than the City attackers right now due to their price point and the current output they have.
Yeah.
And looking at Calvert-Lewin, I kind of feel like his supply line has dried up and he's been kind of feeding off scraps.
I know.
Same with the Carabao Cup match day against Man United. There was nothing happening for him.
Yeah, DCL's in trouble with Dean now, and then James. I just have him for so cheap. I have him for 7.0.
Yeah, it's
a
lot of value tied up.
It's definitely something I've thought about too, though. Is parting ways with him. All right, just real quick look at the schedule. Some of the players, our teams we like, are definitely going to be City, Man City, Spurs that we've been talking about, and West Ham as well. We won't go too much into this as we'll be more focusing on game weeks 18 and 19 and later on. Here's a quick look at our watch lists. Nothing super new. Che Adams has been added. Son, Pulisic, we still like. I still like Pulisic. He had that game one. He started last game week. He did have a big chance. So I still want to see more from him and Chelsea's attack before I go all out and pick them up.
Right.
Okay. Jason, tell me a little bit about the checklist.
All right, so Game Week 15 checklist. Kind of funny, the first thing I have on here is who cares about 15? Let's start preparing for Game Week 18 and 19 right now. Figure out what your plan is. If you still have a wild card from the first round or the first half wild card, you got to use it by 16, so do that soon. Otherwise, get your plans together and start making your moves now. Second, I think you kind of touched on earlier with your Robertson pick, but Liverpool's defense looks like it's ready to be invested again. If you divested to begin with, that is. Both Robertson and TAA look like pretty great values again. They're starting to hit their stride offensively. Liverpool are keeping a few more clean sheets than they have the fixtures right now, plus 2 games in 19. Third, Man City still looks set up for pretty big returns, especially in Game Week 15 against Newcastle. Now, I will note I am holding KDB through this fixture, as I'm hoping he can, kind of ride off into the sunset in glory for me. Defensively, I do like City as well for this match. Obviously, predicting who's going to play is going to be tough. I believe midweek in the Carabao Cup, Diaz and Cancelo and Zinchenko all played. So we'll see if anyone gets rotated out of them. But yeah, it's going to be a great match for City. If you want to get on Raheem Sterling for this week, that might not be a bad idea as well. Spurs fixtures turning great. They do have Wolves in 15, which is not quite as difficult as you would think it would be. But 16 is when it really gets great, when they play Fulham. So I'm saying if you ever got out of them to begin with, it's time to get back in. If you still have them, I would hold them. I think they do have a fixture in 18 as well. And then in 19, they do not have a double, but they do have a very nice fixture in that game week as well. So for me, I think Kane and Son are going to be a hold throughout the entire time frame.
Interesting. Yeah, for sure. And then the captaincy.
I think week? I'll let you take captaincy.
Okay. I mean, for me, I think that they're pretty much no doubt about it, unless there's some sort of risk of rotation. Mo Salah, he's been on form, and he's the one I'm almost nailed on taking right now. Just kind of want to wait for maybe some news, if there's any news, before we lock in on him. A distant would be KDB, but the problem with KDB is just his form is just not as good as Salah's. Jason, you inputted Kane and Son here. Are you still high on them against the Wolves?
I think they're definitely a distant third and fourth, way behind Salah and then behind KDB. But my thought was mainly if you don't have Salah or KDB, potentially these are probably the next best options, with Man United playing against Leicester and Arsenal versus Chelsea. So that's more an outside shot. But if you own either Salah or KDB, those are definitely the choices, hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not high on any United assets against Leicester. It's not it's a hold, but it's not like a pick Bruno for captain week.
Yeah. I'll have Bruno on my team, obviously, but I wouldn't captain him this week. Too risky against Leicester, who just shut out Spurs.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I would go Son Kane if you don't have Salah and KDB, but if you don't have Salah, you really should have Salah.
Yeah, find a way to get him in.
Yeah, basically. And then, I mean, if you you have Mane, maybe he would be also a good captain. It's just we don't mention him because Salah. I mean, so many people have Salah, and he seems to be the right pick for that whole Salah and Mane debate, at least for this season so far.
Definitely. Plus, Salah just got his rest, so we know he's going to be starting.
Yeah. Okay, so these are going to be our recommendations that we pretty much already covered very well. I'm heavy on Liverpool. I'm confident in their defense. I think Andrew Robertson, he's been the most consistent in terms of chances created between the two backs. And so I'm going to be having him back on my squad. Harry Kane, he has excellent fixtures coming up. He's not missing. Spurs are not missing any game weeks, at least of the upcoming game weeks. I kind of like him just a little bit more than Son, but I just like it because he's involved in the assists and the goals. Honestly, you go either way. You can go either way. I don't have a super preference. There's just so many good midfielders. That's why I like Harry Kane. And then Mo Salah's best player in the Prem right now. So, Jason, what about you?
For me, number 1 and 2 have to be Kane and Son with their fixtures they have. Plus, they play in 18, whereas Salah does blank in 18, so that's why I have him just a little bit below them, because he only plays one less game over the next 4. But yeah, form-wise, I think these are 3 great shouts. If Liverpool played 4 games, I think Robertson could be a good shout as well. But for me, Son and Kane are just in such great form and have the fixtures that, it's like you said, it's really hard to separate the two. So I'm just kind of putting both on here.
Yep. All right, and lastly, we'll be kind of talking about our specific plans for game weeks 18 and double game week 19. Currently, game week 18, I'm not very high on game week 18 at all. When you look at the best fixtures for that game week, Spurs, Villa, maybe for either team's assets. City, Brighton. So Man City should definitely be a team you should be loading up on if you're thinking about game week 18. But that's about it. I'm not too high on Wolves, Everton, or Sheffield, Newcastle. Maybe if you have Callum Wilson, it's a nice hold. So I'm okay with not having a full team for game week 18, and I do not plan on using any cards for game week 18. Playing quite conservative. Game week 19, there are some decent fixtures. Some of the big teams do have a nice double game week here. I still want to be a little more conservative. Usually I don't play my bench boosts or free hit so early in the season. That's just a style. Triple captaincy, I could be, depending on Salah's form and minutes, I could place a triple captaincy on him. I am a little cautious because Manchester United is one of his opponents, and the last 3 matches with United have been pretty low scoring matches, 1-1s or maybe 2 goals at most in the last 3 games against United. Teams I definitely am thinking about for game week 19 is going to be West Ham, Leeds, Liverpool, and Chelsea. Jason, what are your plans for these game weeks?
So as it stands right now, game week 18, I'm just going to play. I have 7 players currently playing, and I think I'm just going to roll with that and save my free hit unless I get more injuries to my squad. I think 7 is kind of my cutoff. I think if you have fewer than 7 playing a free hit or using transfers for game week 18 might be the way to go. Otherwise, if you have like 7 or 8 players that are already playing, including any captainable options such as a Kane, Son, or KDB for that week, I think you can just save the free hit until later in the season. If you do still have your first wild card, keep in mind that expires before game week 16, so use it then. If you do have that, I would use your wild card to build a game week 19 bench boost squad and then free hit an 18. I think that'd be the way to go. I already used my first wild card, so it's not a thing for me. But if you still have it, I think that'd be a good strategy. Secondly, as far as game week 19 goes, you got to start building that squad now. Get as many double game week players as you can. And for me, I'm holding Kane and Son for their match against Sheffield as single week players in 19 as well. So for my chip strategy in 19, a lot depends on what I can do. I'm already dealing with some injury issues, so I'm kind of having to burn a couple transfers already. But if I can somehow get to a full 15 playing squad, I will use my bench boost. I'm willing to use probably 1 to 2 hits if I need to get a full 15. If I can get double game week players with those hits, so we'll see how that turns out over these next few weeks. If I cannot get the full 15, I'm considering the triple captain probably on Mo Salah, as he has 2 home matches. Not the greatest opponents in Man United and Burnley, but Salah at home for 2 matches in a row is really hard to pass up. Game week 19, I'm looking at probably having 5 to 6 single game week players in my squad, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Especially because if you have like a City defender, like I said, Kane and Son, there's some other decent single game week players out there as well. I think you're fine keeping them in there. Don't chase the doubles when you already have a great matchup for a single game week player. So that's kind of my thoughts right now. Basically, I'm playing a little bit conservatively, hoping to save my free hit, then using either bench boost or triple captain, depending on how bad my injuries get and if I can get all the transfers in that I want for 19.
Right. If you guys want our for sure transfers and for sure teams, make sure to follow us on Twitter. The link will be in the description. We will be posting our teams and maybe some additional thoughts on game weeks 18 and 19 there as well.
Yes, yeah, our thoughts change all the time, so obviously to get the most up to date, you'll have to follow on Twitter. If we're only releasing a video once a week and we're tinkering, every day with it.
Yeah, I mean the foundation is there, but there's still tinkering to be done, still news to come out, things like this.
Yep, injuries to deal with.
All right, so quick shout out to our league. I've dropped significantly. Now in 4th place, Brendan is back to 1st place and quite the lead now as well. Jason, you've kind of stayed stable at 8th, and you're kind of catching up in terms of points too, right?
Yeah, I had a pretty nice game week, but the few guys ahead of me also had a pretty similar game week, so I didn't really gain much ground on them there. Okay. Just I think you're the only one with a red arrow in that top 9, so it's interesting there.
All right, guys. Any kind of final words, Jason?
Yeah, I'd say relax and enjoy the holidays. Don't worry about FPL too much. Then, obviously come Boxing Day, it's a football bonanza. Short turnaround from game week 15 to 16. 15 ends on Sunday, 16 begins on Monday, so keep that in mind for your transfers. It's going to be very quick turnaround, and it's going to be kind of the theme for the next few weeks. Lots of fixtures kind of packed into a very short time frame. So just be ready to make lots of transfers, adjust for injuries and rotation, and just keep building towards that 18 and 19, whatever plan you decide to use.
Yeah. Although I would prefer, the Premier League to have some sort of break. I am looking forward to, being able to watch the matches on Boxing Day. Quite the tradition.
Yeah.
Best of luck, guys, getting green arrows. If you guys like the channel, please give us a like, subscribe, comments. Let us know about your team. We'd be happy to answer questions as well, either in the comments or on Twitter. All right, that's it for now, guys. Take care.
All right, see ya.